What's up, y'all? It's your girl Ashley Franz here, and welcome to the first episode of Rollout Review, where I review your favorite artists' rollout campaigns. And today we are talking about SZA's Lana, the deluxe version of her last album, SOS. Now listen, I love how this rollout came about. Not only did she do a deluxe version of her previous album, which is so rare these days. Like, most people just put out music and keep it moving, but I love that she saw such the success of this album, was like, look, I gotta add to it. But she has been rolling out this deluxe version for a year now. Like, she told us the name and gave us some visuals last December, the first anniversary of the SOS album, and then this year, the second anniversary, she dropped the deluxe. So I love that, and we gotta get into this full rollout. Before we get into that, I want to say some of the successes of the SOS album. It debuted at #1 on Billboard 200 charts and spent 10 weeks at #1. Debuted at #1 for top R&B albums. Debuted at #1 for top R&B and hip hop albums. Artist 100 debuted at #1. She had hit singles Kill Bill and Use, both reached #1, and Snooze were made on the Hot 100 for entire of 2023. Kill Bill was SZA's first solo #1 on the pop airway charts. Y'all know how hard it is for us to chart on the pop, okay? If you know, you know. She also got nominated for 3 Grammys: Best R&B Song for Snooze, Best Progressive R&B Album SOS, Best Pop Duo and Group Performance Ghost in the Machine featuring Phoebe Bridgers, okay? So I love, that's just some of the successes of that previous album, but I just had to give SZA her flowers for that because I love that. Okay, so the marketing rollout for the deluxe Lana album started December 10th, 2024, where she showed us visuals and the name of the project. And again, she spent a whole year promoting this deluxe project. Not just a new project, but deluxe. Like, take notes, because a lot of people like to just rush and promote for a week, 2 weeks, maybe a month if we're lucky. But sis took her time for a whole year to really give us snippets of what she was bringing. So shout out to her for doing that. So there were a couple key moments that I think that really became full circle for her that was a part of her rollout. So in 2024, she tweeted about Severance, and it's an amazing show on Apple TV. And she was like, hey, we need to have this show back. And Ben Stiller actually responded to her and tweeted back, and she responded and apologized. It was such a cute little moment. And that same moment on Fallon Tonight, he talked about that whole moment on there. They showed the tweets, and then Fallon Tonight and SZA also did a like co-collab post about it. It was super cute. Fast forward to December, where we see that Ben Stiller is in the Drive video, like singing the lyrics. And I just think that's such a cool first full circle moment. Like, I don't know if she knew that's what was gonna happen with this, but I love how that played out organically and for us to see from start to finish. So in September of 2024 of this year, she appeared on Hot Ones and wore that bug face costume that we see on the cover of Lana. This wasn't the first time she showed us that. She showed us photos of that back in May, and she also showed us videos of that in June. So I love how she was leaving us breadcrumbs and showing us like what the next chapter of what it is that she's going to be doing. Though everything about this deluxe and this album in general is very SZA coded. She's very much Naked Frolic in the Woods type of brand. We all know that. But I love that she was kind of giving us a preview with this. Like, this is the first time she had that on a public platform. So she was low-key previewing what she was going to have for us in this deluxe album. So I love that she did that. For her project in 2024, Kendrick's album drops, and SZA is featured on it, right? She posts about it, they have a feature on it, and then shortly after, she also mentioned that she's gonna be going on tour with him, right? Remember that her deluxe album dropped in December. Now, a lot of people are wary about dropping albums like close to each other, you know, competition numbers, what have you. But Kendrick used to be a part of TDE, which is the label that SZA is on now. So obviously they have a long history, they go back, and I just love how they utilized each other's platforms to promote each other, because after SZA announced her album, the first single that she focused on was the one with Kendrick, 30 for 30. So you see how his promotion from the Super Bowl and the beef with Drake and all of that, and then announcing his album to then announcing her album. So I really love how they utilize both of each other's platforms to promote each other. You don't see that quite often. So I definitely just want to make that point. I think that was very intentional, and I love to see their connection. She even interviewed him for a magazine interview. So I just love that moment, a part of this rollout. Speaking of the song 30 for 30. So SZA also appeared on Kai Cenat's Mafia-thon. In December. It was for a month, right? And she was on there. It was super cute. It was a great moment. And she mentions chat in the 30 for 30 chat. And again, another full circle moment that is so pop culture coded. It aligns because she actually was on the live stream. I just love how that, again, pulled all that together, all these little pieces and things that she was doing, because we all know with SZA, like, it's not like she just be outside all the time and she just likes to be at the forefront. But the fact that she was doing all these things and providing breadcrumbs and tapping into pop culture and trends, like, chef's kiss to her. And with all of this convergence that was going on with her album and with Kendrick, she also dropped the trailer in October with Keke Palmer, a movie that is going to be aired sometime this year. It's created by Issa Rae. To my knowledge, I think this is the first movie that she's in, but I think this is another great promo aspect for her, because she also did like a press promo tour with Keke, and they did a couple interviews. So that allowed her to be exposed to a new audience as well, like engaging with Keke and being seen with her. And that provides more eyes and more opportunities to like blow up with this new deluxe album. So it's like she had all of these things going on, plus promoting this deluxe album, which I know can definitely be overwhelming, but I'm so happy she decided to go this route because she keeps the momentum. Not to mention, in November, before the album dropped, she was on British Vogue. Again, another new set of eyes for people to discover who she is. Like, yes, she is an amazing artist. A lot of people know her, but when you're put in places that you not normally seen, you get exposed to news audience, more eyes, more streams, more coins. Again, her team and her were very intentional. Deluxe album actually dropped. She created even more assets. She created a dope website that looks like an anthill. Again, the cover of it is her with her body in with this bug mask on. She created a website that looked like a bug hill, and you can go in and go to the different aspects of the website. I love how it's interactive. I love that she had a website just for this. Like, let's bring back actual assets for rollout campaigns. She's also selling vinyls, which I think is super dope. And then she's also selling merchandise, and it's like high quality merchandise that directly aligns with the branding of this album. So I love that she's actually doing physical pieces for people to be able to remember. Patches and bags and cassettes, again, physical ownership, like tangible items. That is something that Gen Z and the next generation loves. So I'm so happy that she's tapping into that. So she has had so many amazing different assets in regards to this rollout, but there's a couple things that I would love to see for her to do. One, I would love an in-person activation at Coachella. Again, she is very free-spirited, frolic, and I feel like that directly aligns with the brand of the festival. And I think it would be super dope if she did something in person there with some of her fans. I also would love to see a documentary behind the scenes about this, right? Because she said that this album represents healed. So I would love for her to have some type of YouTube docuseries to go and discuss behind the scenes of like what this really means to her and what that looks like. Also, a couple of her fans have curated different vinyl designs, and I think that tapping more into the fan favorites and the fan art, I think would be a great way to even further connect with her community. She mentioned to one of her fans that she wanted to pay for him to further create this, so I think that further tapping into that for like merchandise or whether it be actual vinyls will be a great addition to what it is that she's already doing. Something else I would like to see, this may be kind of like off the rocker, but there's been a lot of like lookalike contests that been going viral on social media with different like artists and people. I would love to see people try to recreate that like bug mask. I don't know if that's asking for too much, but I just think that would be super funny for people to try to create it out of like paper mache or something of that nature. Yeah, I just love that. But I think it was a really thought out full album. They said that this has surpassed over 11 billion, the deluxe has passed over 11 billion streams on Spotify. So obviously she's doing something right. I love that we've been seeing the process of her putting this out. I know during the holidays, she said that she was waiting on some mixes, but had to wait until, you know, people came back from the holidays. There were some one-two about with her and her manager. But I just feel like those type of things make you relatable, right? Like we think because the art is that big, nothing bad ever happens, or that you know, we just think everything is so easy, but it's like, no, I'm an artist. Like I deal with the same issues just as artists who are not big as me. So I kind of love having that aspects be a part of the story. So SZA, I love you. Those are my thoughts. I'm such appreciative of this album and the thought process that you put in, not just with the music and the product, but also the actual rollout. The fact you took your time, you stepped out of your comfort zone by going on that stream, by being on the cover of Vogue, by doing all these other, you know, being on Hot Ones, like doing these things that you don't normally do, but you wanted to put yourself out there to really bring this album to life. So I'm super excited to see what else you do. We love you, we support you, sis, and congrats on the amazing project.